Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Ram Trucks, it's summer, and great deals are heating up at the Ram Summer Clearance event today. And by Kraft Shredded Cheese and Cheese Chunks, make something amazing. Back here in Pittsburgh, where it's cloudy and overcast again here tonight. It was raining a little bit earlier today, but hopefully the wet stuff will stay away tonight. And the Tigers and the Pirates will be able to get the second game in this series in. The Tigers again have Rajai Davis in the leadoff slot here tonight, and their starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers tonight. So Brad Ausmus will line them up in game 2 in the series. It'll be Davis in the leadoff slot, followed by Ezekiel Carrera in center field. Ian Kinsler batting third. Miguel Cabrera batting cleanup tonight. Victor batting in the 5 hole has been pretty good. J.D. Martinez at right, and a bottom 3 of Avila, Suarez, and Ray.
Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh Pirates starting defense is brought to you by Tim Hortons. They had a couple of assists from their outfielders in last night's contest. Snyder had one. Polanco, he also had one. Marte getting his 17th career start in center field with Andrew McCutchen on the disabled list. The only change in the infield is Gabby Sanchez. He is playing first base tonight for the Buccos defense.
How about our predictions for tonight's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for just $2. I've got a feeling on Ezekiel Carrera having a big game tonight.
I got the big fella. He's starting to bust out of it a little bit. 6 hits in his last couple of days, although they did play that 19-inning game in Toronto, so he had quite a few ABs on Sunday.
And Trevor's going with J.D. Martinez tonight. The Tigers will face the right-handed offerings of Edinson Volquez in this one.
Edinson Volquez has got a big arm. Fastball tops out at about 96 miles an hour. Probably pitching his best baseball right now for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Already 9 wins this year for Edinson. He had 9 wins last year in 32 starts.
Tigers just couldn't get it going offensively last night. They did get a run in the first inning, but it was pretty much all Pittsburgh after that. And tonight they'll face the right-hander Edinson Volquez. And as a result of the loss last night, Brad Ausmus' team now is in second place in the American League Central Division. The Royals have leapfrogged the Tigers. They are a half game up, Cleveland 5.5 back, and that's how it shapes up going into play this evening. Rajai Davis hopefully will get things started for the Tigers in this one, who Rod desperately need a win when you consider this just has not been a very good road trip, and they'd like some momentum going back home.
It's not funny anymore. It's officially not funny anymore. I mean, it's a bad dream. I mean, this road trip has been horrific. They've only won 1 of the previous 8 games that they've played. Lots of extra inning games, grueling games, but they're not putting any W's in the win column.
Hopefully that'll change tonight as we check out the Bernstein advantage in this one. Rajai Davis has done really well in interleague play this season. 481 with 9 RBIs and some really good numbers across the board. So we'll see if Davis can continue those numbers here tonight in Pittsburgh. Rajai settles into the batter's box. We are ready for baseball, and here we go. The first pitch of tonight's ball game is a strike called on Davis.
I told you Edinson Volquez has that mid-90s fastball. He also has a curveball, a changeup, and every now and then, because he changes the grip, he'll get some sink on his fastball.
Bouncing ball slowly toward third base. Harrison on the charge, and Davis is retired. 1 gone. So Volquez keeps the speedy Davis off the base pass. We'll bring up Ezekiel Carrera. Carrera getting the start in center field tonight. Torrey getting the night off.
He's also batting second here tonight, which is an indication that Brad Ausmus might play an aggressive game here this evening with the top of his batting order.
Ball high and away. Say planned night off for Torrey Hunter. They actually wanted to get him last night off, but because they had a lefty on the mound, and after that long 19-inning game, Torrey said, don't worry, I'll play, but he'll get this evening off. 2 balls, no strikes on Ezekiel Carrera. Been a tough stretch for the Tigers. They dropped 3 out of 4 in New York, 2 out of 3 in Toronto, and the opener here last night. Here's the 2-0 pitch. High and outside. 3 balls, no strikes on the speedy Ezekiel Carrera. Kinsler waiting on deck. In effect tonight, you have 2 guys at the top of the Tigers lineup that can really run. And looks at a strike call, 3-1. 43 steals this year down at AAA. Knocked in 41. Had a really good season with Toledo. Hit .307. And he drives this one in the air to right field. Polanco going back, turns on it off the wall. Carrera's on his way to second base. The throw is off target. And it's a one-out double for Ezequiel Carrera.
Very patient at bat for Ezequiel Carrera. He worked himself into a fastball sprinkly 3-1 count. He got that fastball right down the middle and hit an absolute missile over the head of Polanco in left field. He really had to hustle to get a sliding double because the ball was hit so hard.
So we'll see if the Tigers now can drive him in. Ian Kinsler will stand in. Kinsler last night was hitless. He does have 10 hits on the road trip, though, overall.
There has been a handful of times this year where Kinsler has batted third, and of course Miggy has batted fourth, and it usually when the Tigers are struggling to score runs. Otherwise, Miggy occupies that number 3 spot.
Last night the Tigers got a run in the very first inning on Cabrera's RBI hit, but they gave up a 5 spot in the bottom of the first, setting the tone for the ball game. Kinsler looks at ball 1.
Notice something with Russell Martin, their catcher, last night. Very seldom did he get shaken off by last night's starter. And Edinson Volquez will not shake him off all that often here tonight. And he also loves to call fastballs inside.
Back up the middle and into center field, a base hit. Carrera rounding third. He will score, and the Tigers will score first again here tonight. Double by Carrera, single by Kinsler. RBI number 63 for Ian.
Edinson Volquez coming out trying to bully the Tigers with fastballs, and that was a changeup left up. Ian Kinsler hit it right back up the middle. The second baseman, Nix, was playing up the middle almost made a play on the shortstop side of second base.
It'll bring up Cabrera now. First hit of the series for Kinsler. Miguel last night 3 out of 5. And there's a strike 0-1. Cabrera now has knocked in 85. Had an RBI in last night's ball game in the first inning. Kinsler can run. He had or has 10 stolen bases. And a ball missing high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers had Victor Martinez lurking behind Cabrera. Detroit 10 games over the 500 mark coming in at 63 and 53. And Kinsler draws a throw. Volquez is 31 years old. He's out of the Dominican Republic. Has a team high 9 wins for Pittsburgh. Pretty good ERA of 3.70, making his 23rd start of the season.
Had 9 wins last year. Did Edinson in 32 starts.
Ripped foul down the right field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Miguel Cabrera. Tigers put together a couple of hits and lead 1-0 in the first. One and 2. Runner goes right back up the middle into center. Kinsler is on his way to third base, and he is in there standing up. A solid single to center field for Cabrera. That is 3 consecutive hits for the Tigers.
Already in this inning, Volquez has made some mistakes right over the heart of the plate, and the Tigers have made him pay for it. Ezekiel Carrera got a fastball right down the middle, about belt buckle high. Ian Kinsler also hit a mistake pitch, and Miggy got something right over the middle of the plate. He whistled it right back through the middle. Good start today for the Tigers.
We'll see now if they can continue to pour it on. 2 on, 1 out.
Well, the way that they've been going on this entire road trip, it's a must that they somehow score Kinsler as well. He's standing at third base right now with only 1 out.
And Martinez is the guy to get him in. Victor, a couple of hits last night. 11 hits on this road trip. And a strike called on the outer edge.
Victor needs to make a conscious effort of keeping the ball off the ground, which means he needs to try to hit something deep to left field, which would allow him to stay on the ball and stay balanced throughout his swing. He does ground into quite a few double plays. Therefore, he does not want to hit anything on the ground.
Volquez with the 0-1 and a bouncing ball. Oh, flagged down by Volquez. He's coming home with it. And Kinsler is caught in a rundown. They'll tag him out. How about that play by Volquez?
Volquez might have made a mistake there. He would have had a double play had he gone to second and then gone to first base, but apparently he just wanted to make sure he didn't give up that second run.
Well, with Martinez running down the line, I think you're right.
Victor's not even down the batter's box right now. The ball's in his glove. What a play. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's how things are going for us right now. But he still had time for a double play. How about that? The dude turns his back. He's looking out in center field. He throws his glove up, and the ball goes in the glove.
Well, you said it. That's how things are going right now for the Tigers. They're going to make sure that Volquez is okay. He wasn't even looking. Made a backhanded play. And they're checking the glove hand of Volquez. Ball was hit pretty sharply. He took a peek at first, so he never really looked at second base, and then he came home with it.
Take one more look at the lucky play by Volquez.
Oh, my goodness. There's the look to first, and then he came home. Kinsler caught in the rundown. And that will leave runners at first and second with 2 outs. Here's J.D. Martinez. J.D. looks at one outside, 1-0.
Tigers had a couple of base runners thrown out at home plate last night. One by Snyder, the left fielder. The other by Polanco, the right fielder. And they've made now 3 outs at home plate.
Martinez 1 for 3 in last night's game. Here's the 1-0. JD swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Tigers right fielder in this game. Again, Torrey Hunter gets the night off. He'll be back in there tomorrow.
Brad said it's very important to give Torrey a blow every now and then. He's 39 years old, and even though he's in great shape, you want to make sure that he gives you a really solid effort the remaining 6 weeks of the season. Therefore, imperative to get Torrey off his feet whenever he can.
And again, yesterday would have been the perfect spot after the 19-inning game, but they were throwing a lefty, and Brad asked him, can I just send you out there today? We'll give you the next day off. And Hunter was good with it. You know, he had to be dog tired. 2 balls, 1 strike. Volquez has given up a double, 2 singles, and has made a highlight play. High fly ball, right field, hit pretty well. Polanco going back to the track, circling, and that is that. Polanco fired that ball in, didn't know how many outs there were.
No, he didn't.
So the Tigers settle for 1. They leave 2, and we'll go to the bottom of the first. First inning, here come the Pirates in the bottom of the first, and they will face the Tigers left-hander Robbie Ray, who is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Robbie Ray last took the ball for the Toledo Mud Hens on August 4th, so he's had 7 days in between these last 2 starts, so it's very imperative for him not to try to do too much. Just continue to do what he had been doing down in Toledo, throwing lots of strikes.
Pirates starting lineup tonight presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Harrison, Polanco, and Mercer in your top 3. Martin, Marte, and Gabby Sanchez in the middle. Last night, Travis Snyder had a big night. He's out left, followed by Nix, and then Edinson Volquez, the pitcher. He is batting 9th. So here come the Pirates, who scored 5 in the first inning last night. And they are down 1-0 again here tonight. Josh Harrison leads it off. Robbie Ray going to work. And the left-hander misses high and away, 1-0.
Second tour of duty for Robbie Ray in the movies this year, which means he should be a little bit more relaxed out there. Fastball tops out at about 94 miles an hour. He has scrapped the curveball. He is only throwing the slider now and a changeup.
That is in there for a strike.
But that's what he's going to have to do all night long. He's going to have to spot that fastball inside and outside. He's going to have to keep it below the knees. He does not have a true strikeout pitch.
He was in the windup, and time was given to Josh Harrison. Big night last night for Harrison, 3 for 5. He's reached base now in 15 straight games. Skies this one in the air to shallow center field. Kinsler going back. And Harrison is kept off the bases. 1 out.
Take a look at the Tigers starting defense here tonight, trying to win a game here. Second game of the road trip. Davis, Carrera, Martinez in the outfield. 4th start. And for Carrera in the outfield, that would be center field. 14 putouts. Suarez, Kinsler up the middle. Miggy and Victor on the corners. And Alex is getting the catching duties here once again. You know, I was talking to Robbie Ray yesterday, and he told me that the reason why he scrapped the curveball is because every time that he threw his curveball, he was shortening up his stride because he was trying so hard to get on top of the baseball. But when he throws his fastball, his slider, and his changeup, there's no problem with that stride as far as when he's in his delivery.
Here's Polanco as he slapped one foul down the left field line.
Jeff Jones actually told me that's an old school method. He said a lot of pitching coaches back in the day used to tell their pitchers to shorten up their stride when throwing the curveball, just so you can get that arm in a slot where you can get some break on the breaking ball.
The 0-1 is up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Looks like he's a little charged up here today. Told you he had 7 days off in between his last start in Toledo. Every fastball has been about 93 here so far.
Robbie, the centerpiece of the Doug Fister deal with the Nationals in the offseason. And he's popped up left side of the infield. Here comes the shortstop Suarez to the grass for round number 2. That'll bring up Jordy Mercer. Well, if Ray could get through this inning, it would be a feat because the Pirates are really good at scoring first inning runs. They have scored 71 first inning runs, which is 3rd most in the National League.
5 of their last 6 games, they've scored first inning runs as well.
Of course, last night they scored 5 of them, and the Tigers really had a lot of trouble digging themselves out of that hole. Mercer in the 3 slot in this one. He's been bumped up in the lineup probably because he's pretty good against lefties. 350 career against left-handed pitching.
He's been outstanding lately for them. In the month of July, he was tremendous, and he started off the month of August. I mean, really swinging the bat well.
Clint Hurdle had a conversation with Mercer early in the year when he struggled in the month of April and got him to calm down a little bit and stop thinking about mechanics too much. Just go out and swing the bat. It's in there for a strike, and Mercer said it helped tremendously.
That is something that Clint Hurdle is very good at. He's the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, but he's right in the middle of everything they do from a hitting standpoint. Outstanding hitting instructor, too, is Clint Hurdle.
2 balls, 1 strike. Hurdle got him to the playoffs last year. It's been a long, and I mean long, playoff drought. Trying to get him back in there again this season. Fouled straight back. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jordy Mercer, the Pirates shortstop. Mercer has knocked in 39, had a couple of hits in last night's ball game. Here's the 2-2. Bouncing in 3 balls and 2 strikes on Mercer. Pirates without a couple of their big pieces, one on the mound and one, of course, at the plate. McCutchen is on the DL, and so is Garrett Cole. One of the best pitching prospects who had a really good rookie year last year. Now the 3-2, and it's on the ground to the shortstop. Suarez ranging left. Mercer is out. Good start for Robbie Ray. It's a 1-2-3 first inning.
Against the Pirates, and he admitted he had a difficult time of getting loose. While he was doing his long toss, he kept shaking his shoulder, just wouldn't loosen up for him. He came out and gave up 4 runs in the first inning. Brad went to check on him. He struck out the last batter of the inning. He stayed on to sacrifice bunt, get his job done in that way, then left the game in the top half of the second inning.
Yeah, the MRI today, no major structural damage, which was good news, just some inflammation. So hopefully no DL stint for Verlander. We'll see how the Tigers will proceed from here in terms of his treatment. But boy, that was good news today. And the first pitch is hammered in the air to center field. And Avila will fly to Marte from first out.
Brad Ausmus and both Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer, both said more than likely, and they don't know for sure yet, Justin will miss 1 start.
Here's Kevin Rand.
Kevin has been a busy man on this particular road trip with all the injuries to Soria, to Sanchez, and now Verlander.
And I guess we could count ourselves lucky that David Price wasn't hurt on that line drive that he took.
That's right.
In his last start. There's a strike called on Eugenio Suarez. Tigers got a run in the first on the RBI hit by Kinsler. Volquez with the 0-1. Strike called, 0-2 on Suarez. Eugenio 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. It was just his second hit of the entire trip. He taps that one foul. He continues to get the majority of the reps at short. He was brought up from the minor leagues for his bat, but he's been really solid defensively as well. Robbie Ray waiting on deck. And he missed high. The count goes 1-2. Suarez takes strike 3. Bender that locked his knees, and out number 2.
We told you Volquez has the mid-90s fastball. He also has a changeup, but he also has a curveball that he will throw in the front door and also the back door. This one front door.
So here's Robbie Ray now with 2 outs. In there, strike 1. 94 on the gun, catches the outside corner. First career at bat for Robbie Ray. Good sense of ground ball back to the mound, but through. It's fielded by the second baseman, Nix. It's going to be late, and it's going to be an infield hit for Robbie Ray in his first big league at bat.
It's a fastball that Volquez probably should have made the play. I mean, he should have turned around and made a play, but he got too cute after making that play in the very first inning off the bat of Victor Martinez.
And I'm going to have to take the hit away. Sorry, Rob. It's been ruled an error. E4, so he is aboard with 2 outs. Seemed like a very nonchalant play by Volquez. So we'll see if we can make him pay now as Davis stands in. That slight bobble by Jason Nix cost him, and so it was ruled E4. Davis bounced out his first time up. And Rajay sends a ground ball foul, third base side. 0-2 on the Tiger leadoff man. Davis came into this one .333 over his last 35 games. Had a nice night last night.
Speaking of nights, it has turned into a gorgeous evening here in Pittsburgh.
That it has. Ground ball to short. And it's scooped up there by Mercer. Davis is out, and the inning is over. No runs in air. 1 man left. A beautiful night indeed. Pittsburgh, PA. Final game in this short 2-game series. 1-0 Tigers. As we go to the bottom of the second here in Pittsburgh, the Tigers, of course, have had to make some moves because of all of the recent happenings. Sanchez officially today was placed on the 15-day disabled list. Blaine Hardy is back with the club. Of course, Robbie Ray obviously is here. And Justin Miller came in the ballgame early last night. Now he's back at Toledo. Those are the moves the Tigers made. Miller pitching 2 innings in the ballgame last night. With Sanchez on the DL, they're saying probably, what, 3 to 4 weeks?
That's what I heard would be the time frame for him. Meanwhile, Robbie Ray had a really good first inning. The fastball was explosive. He topped out at 94. And the thing that I like most is he stayed out of the middle of the plate. He worked on the corners inside and outside, which is going to be very important for him all evening long.
Well, he's got the 4, 5, and 6 hitters now. Russell Martin leads it off for the Pirates. Martin homered in the ball game last night. Ray got a couple of pop-ups and a ground out in the first inning. And Robbie goes back to work now here in the second. Out straight back 0-1. Ray initially came up in May, early May, and his first 2 starts in the major leagues were good. He beat Houston. He got a no decision against Minnesota, but pitched well, 6 scoreless innings. He ended up with a 4.70 ERA in his first stint. And he missed high. 1 ball, 1 strike. But it seemed like this season at the trading deadline, one of the names that a lot of teams wanted, included in any possible deals, was Mr. Ray. Here's a strike call.
Good changeup there by Robbie Ray, and he threw it on back-to-back pitches. The first one he left up to Martin. Avila called for another one, and he released this one perfectly.
One and 2 on Russell Martin. Right now enjoying a 9-game hitting streak for the Pirates. Starling Marte waiting on deck. Ray brings home the 2-2. Drill to left center field. That'll get down, split the gap, go all the way to the wall. Extra bases. Martin is motoring, and he's going to slide right after second and hold with a double. What was he thinking about 3 there? And he skidded to a stop with his 11th double of the year.
Back-to-back changeups thrown to Martin. Then he threw him a breaking ball down at the bottom of the zone. Then he thought maybe he was looking for another off-speed pitch, and he tried to sneak a heater by Martin, and Martin wasn't having any of that. Now that ball shot right up the gap, right near the 410 sign in center field. Martin can run. He is a catcher, but he has good speed, but he did not want to make the first out at third base, so he simply slid to aid himself in the stopping before going back to second base.
Tying run now in scoring position, nobody out. Starling Marte will stand in. 3 RBIs in last night's ball game. He knocked in 3 with a triple in that 5-run first inning. Ball 1 to Marte. Pirates have some athletic young players on their roster. Marte is one of them. He is pretty much taken over center field now with McCutchen on the disabled list.
He's a legitimate 5-tool player. There is nothing that Marte cannot do in the game.
High fly ball right field. Martinez gathering himself. Martin will tag and draw the throw, and it was a nice one hopper to third.
And a wise decision by Russell Martin not to challenge the arm of J.D. Martinez. We haven't seen Martinez throw a whole lot, and I have to admit, I didn't know J.D. had this much arm strength.
This one kind of caught me by surprise. Outstanding throw by J.D. So Martin holds at second base. Here's Gabby Sanchez. Sanchez did not start the ball game last night. Came on as a pinch hitter. And he shoots a ground ball to third. Under the glove of Cabrera down the line. That'll score the tying run. Martin is in. Sanchez to second with a stand-up double. Pirates tie it at 1.
21 of Gabby Sanchez's 44 hits have gone for extra bases. I think Miguel thought he was going to get to that ball, or else he would have left his feet. Miggy thought that he was going to make that play, but just didn't get the tailgate down. Therefore, the glove did not get down low enough. The ball goes right underneath the glove.
RBI for Sanchez, his 22nd. Here's Travis Snyder. Ball 1 to Snyder. 2 home runs in last night's ball game. He has 9 for the year.
He's also doing a better job this year against left-handed pitching than he is against right-handers. Snyder's hitting .316 against lefties.
Robbie missed again. 2 balls, no strikes. Snyder at .251 this year in the average column. Former #1 pick of the Toronto Blue Jays. Got to the big leagues with a tremendous amount of promise.
Outstanding high school football player.
Now it's 3-0. Leadoff double by Martin. A 1-out double by Sanchez has tied it. And you're looking at strike 3 and 1. Pirates have played really good ball at home here. 38-24 this season at PNC Park. And the 3-1. Tap foul. 3-2.
Snyder had 2 homers in last night's game. One went the opposite way, down the left field line with no slice to it whatsoever. And then he got a fastball later in the game against Phil Coke and went straight central. He's always had a lot of pop in that bat.
He put it on display last night. A 4 RBI night for Snyder. That's in the air toward left center field. Carrera's on the move, and it's going to drop. What in the world happened there? Throw to the plate, not in time. And the Pirates lead 2-1.
Tigers played a poor game defensively last night. They're not off to a good start here. Defensively, looked like Carrera had that ball all the way, and I don't know if Rajay Davis called him off at the last moment, but he simply took his glove and he pulled it down. But it looked like he had a beat on it all the way. I can't even imagine Rajay calling it because Rajay wasn't even close to it.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, the glove is up, and then all of a sudden the glove goes down, but getting another look at it, looks like he may have misread it anyway.
Yeah, that ball was actually over his head. It drops between Carrera and Rajay Davis, and the Pirates have the lead. Meanwhile, a visit out to the mound to slow things down for Robbie Ray. 2-1 Pittsburgh. Here's Jason Nix. Nix hitting just .167. Was 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. Foul that one back out of play.
This Pirates team, they're very aggressive. If you throw them a first pitch fastball, more than likely they are swinging at it. Clint Hurdle said as much earlier today when he met with the media. He says he loves his guys to ambush first pitch strikes.
Three two-base hits in this inning. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes. Edinson Volquez waiting on deck. Robbie Ray has surrendered 3 hits in this inning. Ball high. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jason Nix.
Now, if Robbie Ray has any confidence whatsoever in the slider now that he's throwing, he's no longer throwing the curveball. He's fastball, slider, change. This would be a good time to throw one down and in toward that back foot of Lance Nix's.
Foul straight back.
Went straight change instead of the slider. Jason Nix, excuse me, his brother is Lance.
There's a few Nixes out there.
Yeah.
30 now for Robbie Ray, 18 of which have been strikes. Pirates answer the Tigers' run in the first with 2 here in the second. Low and away. Even the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitcher spot next, Volquez. Knicks well traveled. Yankees, White Sox, Cleveland, Colorado, Toronto, and now the Pirates. Another foul back out of play.
That is 3 changeups in a row to Knicks. Hasn't thrown him a slider yet.
Pirates also without Neil Walker, who has 16 home runs this year. Knicks getting to start at second base again here tonight. And he missed again. So the count is full now, 3-2 on Jason Nix. Leadoff 2-base hit by Russell Martin. And a 1 out later, a couple of doubles. He'll get back out of play. These 2 teams will continue this home and home. 2 games coming up at Comerica Park the next 2 nights. 2 here in Pittsburgh, 2 in Detroit. Buck Farmer will get the start tomorrow night for the Tigers, his first major league appearance.
He's only pitched 2 games above A ball this year, Buck Farmer.
Shattered bat rolled toward third. Cabrera will throw out Nix, and the barrel goes all the way to the outfield grass. Runner holds at second, 2 outs.
After a ton of changeups outside to Nix, he finally came inside with a fastball and caught Nix leaning over the plate and shattered his bat.
So 2 outs here is the pitcher spot. Volquez. He's got an 0.32 average this year. He's 1 for 31 with the bat. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. Volquez has knocked in a couple of runs. He's got a runner at second with 2 outs. Pirates have scored a pair. Swing and a miss, 0-2. So 1 more here, and Ray can get out of this inning. Snyder's still at second with 2 outs. And a foul tip into the glove for strike 3 to end the inning. However, they get 3 hits, get a couple of runs. Pirates have taken the lead. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Pirates have taken the lead in this one. It's a Fox Sports Detroit Prize Pack Tuesday. It is brought to you by Meyer. Enter at www.foxsportsdetroit.com to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack that any baseball fan would love. Well, some work to do now for the Tigers as we go to the third. They've got Ezekiel Carrera leading it off. Carrera, then Kinsler, and Cabrera. Volquez brings it home and fires strike one in the outer edge. Carrera had a double in the first. And the Tigers promptly got him home with a base hit by Kinsler to make it 1-0. Ezekiel fouls it off and quickly behind the count now 0-2. And a couple of seasons with the Indians as a part-time player up and down between AAA and the big leagues. Also brief time with the Phillies as well, and now with the Tigers organization. And the 0-2. High and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He was a nice sign by the Tigers, and what they were hoping for Carrera is if Jackson would have gone down with an injury or something like that, they had themselves a true center fielder down in the minor leagues.
Jackson, of course, traded away to the Seattle Mariners, so Carrera was immediately called up when A.J. was dealt in the Price deal.
Al Avila, the assistant general manager to Dave Dombrowski, pretty much compiles the AAA roster, and he's always looking for 6-year free agents, 6-year minor league free agents that could possibly help the big league club if there's an injury.
2-2 on Carrera. Well, he went down to AAA, had himself a fine season, hit .307.
Once you're in one organization for 6 years and you're not on the roster, you can simply choose another organization if you want to do so, if you've spent 6 years in their minor league system.
Swing and a miss. And Carrera's out of there, 1 gone.
Nice little bender there. Maybe the best breaking ball that Volquez has thrown today. That one had a lot of bite on it.
Here's Ian Kinsler. Kinsler knocked in a run in the first. RBI single, 63 driven in for the Tigers' second baseman. And Volquez brings home the 1-0. Volquez at one time was traded for Josh Hamilton. He went to the Cincinnati Reds. Hamilton then went to the Texas Rangers. Rangers were the organization that Volquez grew up in. Rolled foul. Volquez had that one really good year, won 17 ball games, was an all-star his first year in Cincinnati, right? And it looked like this was going to be a guy that was going to be a dominant pitcher in the National League.
He has always had electric stuff. Fastball used to top out at 97. With a changeup and a curveball, an occasional sinker. Always a lot of mound presence.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Kinsler.
He's found that arm slot with the curveball. The last 2 that he has thrown have been tremendous curveballs.
2 gone. Here is our T-Mobile game changer as Miguel Cabrera comes strolling in. And this season, Cabrera, well, you see the difference in wins and losses.
Yeah, I brought this up last night. It really doesn't matter what anybody else is doing in the order. If Miggy's not hitting, the team is not winning a lot of games. It's just that simple.
Only .230 in all of the Tigers' losses. .370 when they win. He's got a single in this ball game tonight. Swing and a miss.
That last graphic just really validates the importance of Miguel Cabrera and when he's on the bases, whether he's getting walked or getting a base hit. He's just turning the lineup over, giving Victor, J.D. Martinez, Torrey Hunter more opportunities.
Miguel with 4 hits in the series so far. Now Volquez with the 0-1.
Now, Miggy's a smart enough hitter to know that now Volquez is kind of liking that breaking ball. Now, the ones that he's thrown have been good breaking balls, but if he happens to hang Miguel a breaking ball, Miggy will hit it hard somewhere. The curveballs that he's already thrown in this inning, nobody's going to hit. But if he hangs one, here it comes.
Bouncing in. 2-1. Cabrera's at third base again tonight. The Tigers, of course, with no DH in National League parks, will have to sit Castellanos.
It really helps if you have a catcher behind the plate like an Alex Avila or Russell Martin that really tell their pitchers to throw your breaking ball in the dirt. It really doesn't matter. I'll block it for you. Don't be afraid to bounce it.
Tap foul.
Miggy telling himself to make him get the ball up. You saw him motion with his hand, telling himself, make him get the ball up. This last gesture by Miggy after the breaking ball.
Martin calling for another. Get back out of play.
It's a hanging breaking ball there that he got away with.
Cabrera's hit 17 this year, home runs that is. He's knocked in 85.
85 good for second in the American League. Mike Trout also has driven in 85. Jose Abreu of the Chicago White Sox has driven in 86.
Martin held it there, and the count goes 3-2.
Outstanding fastball by Volquez at 95, just a shade below the knees.
Now Volquez ready with the 3-2. And he lost it, ball 4. So after a couple of strikeouts, he walks Cabrera, who reaches for the second time in this game. That'll be the first walk for Volquez, and now he'll face Victor Martinez. Martinez reaching on a fielder's choice. He hit that ball back up the middle that Volquez made a spectacular play on. Ended up getting the runner from third home, Kinsler, who was tagged out. Victor in the month of August at 349. And they play the shift defensively on Martinez to the right side of the infield. There it is.
Unusual way of shifting here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They simply take their third baseman, Harrison, and put him at the second base position, a position he's familiar with, instead of taking the third baseman and putting him in that rover position. Here's Harrison here. And usually a lot of teams, and the Tigers do this, they take the third baseman and they move him all the way over to that rover spot in shallow right field. But Harrison is comfortable right where he's at now and at third base.
That always seems to be a consideration when teams try to figure out how they want to align players, making the most they can of keeping guys comfortable, keeping the least amount of players out of position as possible. One ball, one strike on Victor Martinez. Bouncing ball back up the middle. There's Harrison. So that, as strange as it looks, will be a 5-3 ground out, and the inning is over. No runs, a walk, one man left. Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Well, nighttime is starting to settle in around the ballpark here. PNC Park, one of the more scenic ballparks in the National League and all of baseball, for that matter. Now the Pirates have themselves a 2-1 lead as Robbie Ray goes back to the hill here in the bottom of the third. And he will face the top of the lineup, Harrison, Polanco, and Jordy Mercer.
And Robbie Ray throwing a lot of changeups here today, along with his fastball, anywhere from 90 to 94 miles an hour. 94 has been the top fastball. He has not thrown many sliders, and that's probably because there's not a lot of left-handed batters in the lineup today against him.
Harrison showing bunt.
There's another changeup. Harrison is the nephew of John Shelby. John T-Bone Shelby, former Major League outfielder.
Pulled on the ground, fair inside the bag at third. Down the line it goes. Harrison on his way to second, and he is in there with a double.
Harrison plays the game with a lot of energy. He was a career 300 hitter in the minor leagues, but they tapped him as an extra player once he got to the big leagues. He had to wait a long time before he finally got an opportunity to play, but once he's gotten it, he's not giving it up. Clint Hurdle can't get him out of the lineup.
That is his 16th extra base hit post All-Star break, which is more than anybody in the National League.
He will steal third base too, so you have to keep him close if you're Robbie Ray.
And the Pirates have their fourth hit of the game, leadoff double. In fact, all four of their hits are two baggers.
As a matter of fact, Harrison, he talks to John Shelby just on a nightly basis. Looks up to John Shelby, and of course, if you've had an uncle that played in the big leagues, why not?
Here's Polanco. And he drops down a bunt foul. No balls, one strike on Polanco. The one thing that Polanco has had difficulty with in the transition to the big leagues, and is a terrific prospect, but he hasn't hit left-handed pitching well yet. Just 176 coming in. He got off to a tremendous start, hitting an 11 straight to start his big league career, the first Pirate ever to do that. Ball outside from Ray. 1 ball, 1 strike. Robbie out of Brentwood, Tennessee, 6'2", 195. He is still just 22 years old. 7-5 at Toledo, had an ERA 3.72.
A couple of young phenoms going after one another here. Robbie Ray at 22. Greg Polanco also just the tender age of 22 years old.
Ball inside. Polanco popped up his first time. Jordy Mercer waiting on deck. Pirates trying to add to their 2-1 lead. In the air to center. Ezekiel Carrera is under it. Not deep enough to move the runner. Harrison will tag but hold. One gone. Time for a game break now. To the studio we go. John Keating. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Thanks, Keats. We had rain here most of the afternoon, or in the early morning at least. Then it kind of cleared out. Then it rained again before the game.
I guess when we get back to the Motor City tonight, we're going to have to figure out which way we can go home, because a lot of the freeways I've heard are closed.
They are indeed, because of all of the flooding and rain back in the Motor City. So hopefully they'll be able to get a lot of that water off the roads, because I know a lot of the folks in Detroit hurting right now. A lot of basements that are flooded. Mercer, the batter. Ball one. Jordy Mercer is 0 for 1 with a ground out. Played his college ball at Oklahoma State and was a 3-time All Big 12 selection. Stillwater. And a bluff down by Ray. Harrison led off the inning with a double. Runner goes, and Avila can't handle it, and Harrison is in there standing up.
17th steal of the year for Harrison. He can do it all. He is a good baseball player. Robbie Ray did everything that he could possibly do to watch Harrison at second base, and Harrison, he was determined that he was going to get to third base and bail Polanco out, who bats second, who could not advance him with that fly ball to center field.
So some of the MLB ranks since the All-Star break for Harrison.
And if you weren't with us last night, we told you that Josh Harrison, when the season began, he was a bench player for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Infield in, it is popped up. First base side, headed back to the seats and out of play. Two and one. Well, he has certainly emerged. When you look at his numbers across the board, they're pretty impressive. Chanted up now with Cabrera at third base.
What new?
Infield in for the Tigers.
Looks like he's coming on contact.
Two and two. Robbie Ray now just 2 away from 50 pitches in this game. Gave up a couple of runs on 3 doubles back in the second, although one of those fell between Carrera and Davis.
He's thrown a lot of strikes. He has not walked anybody here tonight.
Low and in.
Here's a slider here thrown by Robbie Ray, and it's a pretty good one, but Mercer, he's locked in right now. He hit about 320 in the month of July. He is hitting about 380 in the month of August. You can see the slider grip down toward the back foot, but Mercer able to lay off of it. Mercer's been on fire.
And he sends a ground ball back up the middle and out of the reach of the drawn-in infield. It's an RBI hit, and he remains on fire. Jordy Mercer makes it 3-1. 40th RBI of the season now for Mercer, and for Robbie Ray, that's an even 50. A lengthy second inning. So the Pirates adding another here in the third with 2 more hits on the board. We'll bring up Russell Martin. 5 hits now for Pittsburgh. This does not appear to be a team as that ball gets away from Avila, and that'll move the runner up. Avila couldn't locate it. So give Mercer second base. Wild pitch. Now a base hit could score another. And Avila is going to go out to the mound. I was about to say this does not appear to be a Pittsburgh team that is missing McCutchen all that much.
Not only McCutchen, but Pedro Alvarez, who hit 36 home runs for them last year and drove in 100. is going through some issues, so he's not playing.
Neil Walker out as well.
Yep, he's a switch hitter with power. So that's 3 big bats missing from the lineup. But Clint Hurdle said before the game today, it seems like it's a different guy every night for them that's been getting it done since McCutchen has been out.
Martin fouls it right into the glove of Avila. 1 ball, 1 strike. Russell Martin batting .292. Pirates right now 2.5 back of Milwaukee in the National League Central Division. Ray falls behind 2-1.
Robbie Ray has thrown so many changeups to the right-handed batters that they're simply taking the inside fastballs and they're simply taking the sliders down and in, waiting for a changeup out over the heart of the plate.
Fouled away. 2-2 the count. Martin extended his hitting streak to 10 straight with his double that led off the 2nd inning.
Robbie Ray really having no problem with 2 strikes here today as far as them putting the ball in play. He's allowing a lot of contact. He lacks that true strikeout pitch, whether it be the fastball, the changeup, or his slider. Does not get a lot of strikeouts.
Missed inside.
The only strikeout he has today, he struck out the pitcher back in the 2nd inning.
Starling Marte waiting on deck. 3-2 on Russell Martin. A couple of hits in the inning and another run. It's 3-1 Pirates. 3-2 is swung out and missed. Well, Martin is out of there. It's a big strikeout for Robbie Ray. Well, this Saturday the Tigers battle the Seattle Mariners at 7:08. Fans are invited to stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Don't know exactly what the Seattle Mariners schedule is, whether they have a day off this week or not, but if they do not have any days off, it'll be Felix Hernandez pitching on that Saturday night at Comerica Park.
One of the front runners, maybe if not the front runner for the Cy Young this year.
I would not argue with that.
Tay grounds 1 foul.
He has gone something like 16 straight starts allowing 2 earned runs or less. Felix Hernandez.
I saw that stat. That's pretty crazy. Marte 2 out of 5 in the series, trying to knock home another run. Mercer at second base with 2 outs. Ball inside. Robbie Ray walked 8 in his last 2 starts down at Toledo. So while he was pitching better, the command or control was not quite as good. 4 walks in each of his last 2. He has not issued one here in this game, and that is swung on and missed. 1-2 on Marte. You can see in his last 4, 12 walks in 23 2/3 innings, 19 strikeouts. He'll get back out of play. Tigers have had to reconfigure their rotation with a 19-inning game. Porcello had to pitch in that ball game. Farmer goes tomorrow. Rick, they decided, is going to go in the ball game on Friday against Seattle. That's game 1 in that Seattle series. And Max will pitch tomorrow. Or I beg your pardon, on Thursday.
Right now, the Seattle Mariners are trailing the Tigers by 1 game in that second wild card spot in the American League.
Swing and a miss. And Robbie Ray finally gets out of the inning. His second strikeout of the inning. Pirates get another run. We played 3 here in Pittsburgh. go to the top of the fourth inning, and time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. The Tigers now got to get the bats going again as J.D. Martinez leads it off, down by a couple of runs in the fourth. And J.D. fouls off the first one. Martinez, Avila, Suarez facing Edinson Volquez. Volquez struck out a couple of batters in the third. He has 3 punch-outs in the ballgame.
He's doing a nice job of getting ahead of the Tigers as well with the first pitch strikes. He's 11 of 15. And with that curveball that he's been featuring, that's why he's been able to get a few easy outs in the game.
Fastball rides inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. J.D. fly to right field, ending the first inning. And he missed the outside corner that time. 2-1. Avila waiting on deck. Volquez has made 2 previous starts against the Tigers, but it was a while ago. He was with Texas at the time, the organization he came up with, and he was 0-2 with an ERA of north of 7 in those 2 starts. A little bit of a different situation here tonight. Broken bat roller toward third. Harrison gobbles it up. 1 out of the fourth inning. And J.D. now is 0 for 2. There's Alex Avila. Harrison shifting over to the right side of the infield now with Avila stepping up there. Fly to center field to start things off back in the second.
Not as much of a drastic shift, though. Nick's the second baseman, pretty much playing his regular position. He's not shifting into the outfield.
A ball outside. I want to ask Matt Martinez, who coordinates the defense for the Tigers, but how much of a sampling do you need to realize that, okay, that's a big enough sampling, this guy usually does this? There's got to be a threshold where defensive coordinators become comfortable with actually shifting players.
I would say it has to be somewhere in the 50 at bat range.
Think so?
100 at bat range.
2-0 on Avila.
To give guys an idea of what a lot of hitters like to do.
Here's the 2-0 from Volquez. And it's a strike on Avila.
This particular shift, I don't quite understand why Nix, though, is not backed up further into right field with the speed of Avila. He's not giving himself a lot of room to maneuver left or right. Avila could very easily hit a rocket right through that infield.
Good point. Cut down that angle the more you back up. Driven to center field. Ball is hit well. Marte is on the run. Still going back. He'll watch it sail. It's gone.
I don't have a shift for that.
Alex Avila to left center field. It is home run number 9.
That is not the easiest place to leave Earth. Straightaway center field for a left-handed batter. Actually, that's left center field.
33rd RBI. He'll give the Tigers offense a charge.
And Volquez threw another one of those fastballs that was tailing down and away from Avila, and boy, did he put a pretty swing on it. That nearly landed in the Pirates bullpen, which is a little bit further than Detroit's bullpen out there in center field.
3-2 ball game. Here's Suarez. Tigers have their 4th hit. Avila's 9th home run. Swing and a miss. It's also Alex's 2nd home run on the road trip.
Suarez had a difficult time of laying off that curveball his first time up.
Checked it. Don't believe he went, and he did not, says Ted Barrett. 1-2 on Suarez.
Having a difficult time of picking up that breaking ball.
And again. Got him on the breaking ball with another strikeout. That is 4 for Volquez. That'll leave it up to Robbie Ray. Robbie reaching on an error in his first major league at bat. Takes ball 1. That's it for a strike. 1-1 on Ray. He hit a ground ball back up the middle in his first at bat that got by the pitcher Volquez, was bobbled by the second baseman Nix, and they gave Nix an error. Now he's ahead in the count here. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fouled off. 2-2 on Ray.
Robbie Ray swinging that bat like he knows what he's doing.
Pretty good. A pretty good swing on the baseball his first at bat. Here's the 2-2 offering. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Volquez now at 68 here in the 4th inning. Bouncing ball off the glove of Volquez. He doesn't have time, and Ray is safe at first base.
Now that will be his first major league hit.
Infield single for Robbie Ray right off the glove of Edinson Volquez.
Once Volquez did not field it cleanly, you knew it was going to be a base hit where the second baseman Nix was playing. Nix couldn't help him, therefore Volquez had to run and pick it up himself, but not able to finish the play.
And they'll take the ball out of play.
It'll make its way to Kevin Rand
for safekeeping. First big league hit for Robbie Ray. Here's Rajai Davis. A couple of ground balls for Davis in this game. Tying run is on now. Line to left field. And it's going to be caught by Snyder. That'll end the inning. However, Tigers get 1 back. Alex Avila showing some power to left center. It's a solo shot to make it 3-2.
I have a slider now, no more curveball. We kind of scratched that, put it on the back burner for right now, so I'm throwing in a slider, and it's allowed me to stay in the same arm slot with all my pitches and not shortening up my stride.
Yeah, how much confidence do you have in it right now, since you've obviously been working on it and developing it? Where's it at in your mind?
I feel good with it. I've been able to throw for strikes and bury it, and it's been a very effective pitch for me.
So a new look Robbie Ray. And so far in this ball game, he is down by a run. 3-2 is our score as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning here in Pittsburgh.
Robbie Ray also told me yesterday, by him trying to shorten his slide to throw the curveball, it kept messing with his command. One time his arm slot would be high 3/4, the next pitch it'd be low 3/4. But now he is landing in the same spot, which means the arm slot is staying consistent with the 3 pitches that he's now throwing.
Robbie back of the hill here in the fourth. He will face Sanchez, Snyder, and Nix for the Pirates.
Robbie also told me that last year he was throwing a curveball in Washington's organization, whereas he had started throwing a slider when he first started their organization. So it's not the first time he's changed from slider to curveball back to slider.
First pitch in for a strike, 0-1.
But he has not thrown many sliders today because most of the Pirates hitters are batting right-handed today.
Ray last year split time between A-ball and AA in the Pirates, or I should say the Nationals organization. It's in the air to center field. Carrera calling. And 1 out. Well, Sanchez 1 for 2. That'll bring up Travis Snyder. Snyder had a big game last night, and so far so good for him tonight. He doubled in a run in the second. So that'll give him 5 RBIs in the first 2 games here. In for strike 1. Robbie could use a snappy inning here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Snyder came into the series really struggling with the bat. 3 for his previous 24. Then he went off last night with a couple of home runs. He'll shoot that one to left center field. It's a base hit. His second hit tonight and his 5th of the series. Pirates now have 6 hits in this ball game. Here's Jason Nix. Pittsburgh coming in was second in the National League in team batting average. The Rockies were first at 276, and then the Pirates at 259. Strike called on Nix. Bounced out his first time up.
For the most part, Robbie Ray has been staying at the bottom of the zone. A good changeup, good breaking ball might get him that ground ball to get him out of the inning.
Oh, 2. Pirates, who mentioned, made the playoffs last year for the first time since 1992. They had gone 3 consecutive years, but they have not been to the World Series since 1979.
That was We Are Family, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
What a team that was. Pittsburgh Pirates were my favorite team.
Were they really?
Road team growing up. I loved the Dodgers, but I wouldn't miss a Pirates game when they came to Dodger Stadium.
Hammer to left field. Davis on the run. He'll get to the warning track to make the catch.
That's 2 nights in a row now that these Pittsburgh Pirates hitters, they've been barreling up just about everything.
2 gone for Volquez. What attracted you to the Pirates as a kid?
I mean, I loved Dave Parker, obviously Willie Stargell, Marino in center field. I just loved the makeup of their team. Phil Garner at second, Foley at short. I pretty much knew every position they had. Loved the Pirates.
1979.
Sanguin, the catcher. Bill Madlock at third.
About Omar Moreno.
I used to love to watch him play center field, man. He could steal a base, too.
What about Doe Boylan? He was on that team.
I don't remember him, but I remember Candelaria.
No balls, one strike.
Big Jim Bibby.
And a strike call. 0-2 now the count on Volquez.
Do you have a favorite road team that you would like to go and watch when you go to Tiger Stadium?
That would have been the Royals.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a big George Brett fan.
Oh, they had good teams back then, too.
In the 70s and 80s. Swing and miss, and Robbie Ray pitching around a one-out single. Well, big part of that 79 championship team. Willie Potts, Willie Stargell.
What a man.
On Fox Sports Detroit, it's brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. And by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. 3-2 ball game. We go to the fifth inning in Pittsburgh. We should have booked a ride on that, Ron.
It looks pretty cool for sure. It's the Allegheny River.
Yep, cruising down the Allegheny.
Roberto Clemente Bridge all lit up. It's a pretty ballpark.
It is indeed.
It's a gorgeous ballpark.
Downtown is a backdrop, and at night especially, I can't make up my mind. Does it look better during the day or at night? Awfully stunning at night with the backdrop of downtown. Ezequiel Carrera runs out of the box and takes ball one. Carrera, Kinsler, Cabrera in the fifth inning for Detroit. Home run by Avila in the fourth inning, tightened it up. It's now 3-2. Carrera again offering bunt, but he pulled it back.
Harrison is a good fielder, but he is still giving Carrera too much room. Carrera with his speed, if he gets it down, even though Harrison playing about 3 steps in front of that bag down at third, he will not throw Carrera out.
Outside, and now Volquez has gone to 3-0. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Pirates, 2 runs on 5 hits for the Tigers.
Volquez has only walked 1 this evening. That was Miggy, and that was in the third.
3-1. Volquez won 17 games in his All-Star season in Cincinnati. Has not approached that number since. Slap that one foul. Although he leads the current Pirates team with 9 wins. 3-2 on Ezequiel Carrera. bouncing ball second base side. Nix throws him out by a step.
It's a nice job by Volquez after falling behind Carrera. 3 balls, no strikes. Able to come back and get him and keep the speedy number 2 hitter off the base paths.
Bring up Ian Kinsler. Single and a strikeout for Kinsler. Knocked one in back in the first with his base hit. His 11th hit on this road trip for Detroit. And also leads the team now with 142 hits. Ball outside. And really start to finish. The beginning of this year up until this point has been one of the more consistent players for the Tigers. With the glove and the bat. Ball outside. Of course, the trade that brought Kinsler here, the Tigers gave up Prince Fielder in that deal, and a lot of pundits were saying at that point that the Rangers got the much better part of that deal. Now Prince, of course, was hurt, so you can't measure it, but Tigers knew what they were getting, and that's a pretty good player. Tried to check it, but he went.
Tigers are trying to change the makeup of their club. They knew if they would have held on to Prince and Prince stayed healthy, he was going to hit 30 more homers and he was going to drive in 100 runs. He does it every year. But they wanted to be more athletic. They wanted more agility in the infield to help out their pitchers. And they wanted a guy that could steal a base and play some defense. And Kinsler, he fit the bill of all of those.
And they also saved a couple nickels as well with the Prince Fielder contract going the other way. 3 balls, 1 strike. Ian fouls it off, had a big rip there. 3-2. So far this year now 63 RBIs for Kinsler.
Sometimes you really don't realize how good a player is when you just play against him. 3-game series here, 4-game series there, maybe 8 times a year. But when you watch Kinsler every single day, you see why he's been an all-star and part of a really good organization for 8 seasons in Texas. He was part of the culture of winning around Texas.
Ground ball left side, cut off at third by Harrison. Kinsler is out, and there are 2 gone here in the 5th. Hey, the Tigers host the Seattle Mariners this Friday at 7:08. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Miguel Cabrera 2-time MVP bobblehead. For ticket information, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. And add that to your collection. Here's Cabrera now with 2 outs, single and a walk for Miggy in this one. Missed low, 1-0.
It's the best fastball that Volquez has thrown today. 96. Miggy gets the opposing pitcher's best every night. Every at bat, every night. The opposing pitchers never give in to Miguel Cabrera.
Ooh. Go Miggy. Two 2-0 on Cabrera. Be a little bit outside. 3-0. Typically Cabrera is really good about just about every team that he faces, but 266 career numbers against the Pirates. Done a decent job against him. And he walked him.
Apparently Volquez has decided he's not going to let Miggy play here tonight.
It's the second time he's walked him. Bring up Victor Martinez. Victor with a couple of ground balls, 0 for 2.
I don't know why more teams don't take that strategy on a nightly basis. One guy can play, the other one can't. Either you're going to pitch to Victor or you're going to pitch to Miggy.
Well, here is Martinez now. 68 RBIs. He is second on the team behind Cabrera. And for Martinez, they feel they can play way back into short right field. A ball hit that far, they know that Martinez doesn't run that well.
Yeah, there's Nix right there. He's playing that rover position.
Ground ball right side. This one straight at the first baseman. Sanchez, who tags the bag for the out. Nothing comes of the 2-out walk. No runs, one left. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire.
Summary for the first time in both of these games. Tigers got on the board first, base hit up the middle by Kenzie. It was a lucky play by both teams. Runners on first and third. Victor didn't drive in a run. These Pirates, they just keep coming after you. They put 2 on the board in the second inning. They put 1 more on the board in the third inning. But Alex Avila hit a long home run to left center field in the 4th inning. The score is now 3-2, bottom half of the 5th inning.
And in the bottom of the 5th inning, the Pirates will have the top of the lineup: Harrison, Polanco, and Mercer. Facing Robbie Ray.
So far, Robbie Ray has done his job.
Harrison double, steal, run scored. He's 1 for 2. Ray, a victim of that ball that dropped into left center field. Otherwise, the numbers would be even a little bit better. The 1-0 pitch. Missed inside. But it was imperative tonight, I think, Rod, for Ray to give the Tigers some innings, because they just could not afford another situation where a starter comes out in the 1st, 2nd, or even 3rd inning.
Yeah, that 19-inning game in Toronto on Sunday and put the team out of whack for a number of days. And they're just now finally starting to catch their breath. Toronto Blue Jays had to go all the way to Seattle. And in last night's game, they gave up 11 runs.
Right.
Against a team that really doesn't score that many runs.
Well, a leadoff walk here for Josh Harrison. So he's on again.
It's the first walk of the game for Robbie Ray.
Now Gregory Polanco.
Of the 76 pitches so far tonight that Robbie Ray has thrown, 52% are fastballs, 48% changeup slider. Not many sliders, a boatload of changeups.
Showing bunt, and he pulled it back.
It's the second time today he's been up in a situation where he's squared around the bunt. He didn't get it done his first time up, but he's attempting to do so once again. You brought it up earlier. His numbers are not very good against left-handed pitching.
He came in 176 versus lefties. Part of his game they're looking to improve.
He will get better. He is one of the brightest young offensive players in all of baseball, either league. He's got power, he's got size, he's got speed, he's got an arm. He can simply do it all.
Righties, no problem. Blanco is tearing up AAA, and there was a lot of thought the Pirates would not call him up because of contract situations and status. They didn't want to start his big league time.
Yeah, he forced his way onto the big league roster.
Yeah, I mean, there comes a point where you just can't ignore the numbers.
And plus, the Pirates got off to such a horrific start in 2014. They had to make some changes.
One ball, no strikes. And a strike called as again he shows bunt. Pirates got off to the slow start in April. They won just 10 games. And then they caught fire. There's a bunt back to the mound. Ray a look at second, but he'll take the out at first. Polanco sacrificing Harrison up. It's that slow start we're talking about. Through May the 20th, they were 18-26, but look at what they've done since.
It's one of the things that Clint Hurdle, their manager, is known for. That's rallying the troops. He, by and large, has a very young roster, but he's gotten them to play. They play hard every night.
That's a plus 39 since May 20th.
All the numbers are much better.
We'll bring up Jordy Mercer. That's a ball low.
Robbie Ray faced with the same situation he was faced back in the third inning with one out. Harrison was on second base. He stole third base for his 17th steal of the year. Robbie Ray is paying a lot of attention to Harrison as well, and rightfully so.
Kinsler near the bag, trying to keep him as close as possible.
Harrison just continues to inch his way off the bag, and if you're Robbie Ray and you don't stop him, he'll steal third again. Third base much easier to steal than second base, where you really don't have that defender standing right on the bag to keep you closer.
Strike call. 1-1 the count on Jordy Mercer. Singled in a run against a drawn-in infield back in the third, and right now that is the difference of the game. That is the Pirates' third run, or was. Their fourth run right now is standing at second. Harrison let it off with a walk. He was sacrificed to second base. Pickoff throw, but back in there is Harrison.
Mercer leading all shortstops with a .308 batting average in the National League coming into the contest today. And we talked about his month of July. Hit .319 in that month. .368 so far here in the month of August.
Strike two, 1-2 the count.
Pittsburgh must have had an idea he would be a pretty good big league player. They drafted him in the third round.
Not only was he a really good offensive player in college, but was also the all-time saves leader at Oklahoma State. Not shocking with that arm that he's playing short. Bouncing ball slowly left side of the infield. Suarez with a running scoop, and he just got him by half a step. There's Clint Hurdle.
Suarez kind of nonchalant with Mercer running down the line. Mercer with decent speed. He took a peek to third to see where Harrison was, and Mercer nearly beat it out.
Mercer did not have the look on his face like he thought he beat the throw. It was close. But after looking at it now, Hurdle will not ask for a replay. 2 outs, runner at third. There's Russell Martin. He's had a double and 2 at bats in this game. One ball, no strikes on Martin, who now is just 1 hit shy of 1,000 for his career. 999 was the double back in the second. 3-2 Pirates lead. We're in the 5th. 2-0. Oakland playing in Kansas City again tonight, and Oakland has an early lead in that one, 1-0 in the third. Royals came in a half game up on the Tigers in the Central. Strike called on the outer edge.
Kansas City Royals are red hot. They have won 16 of their last 19 games to take over first place from the Tigers.
And you wonder how long they can maintain that pace. They're without Eric Hosmer. They just made a trade for Josh Willingham to help out.
Willingham's in their starting lineup tonight.
Strike called by home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez. 2-2.
Russell Martin's a veteran hitter. He knows that Robbie Ray has thrown a lot of changeups today. Therefore, he simply took that inside fastball. He's been sitting on the changeup his last couple of at-bats. Diving out over home plate. I like this call by Avila. Fastball inside, but you better get it in there.
Got it in there way inside. 3-2.
Avila also knows that Martin looking for a changeup. Xfinity is telling us that Robbie Ray, his top fastball has been 94 today. He's been anywhere from 90 to 94.
Struck him out. So Martin strikes out for the second time in the game. Robbie Ray gets through 5 innings. They will strand a runner at third. And as we go to the 6th, Pirates still lead by 1. score is 3-2 in favor of the Pirates. The Pirates have out-hit the Tigers 6-5 as promised earlier in the game. We have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Is brought to you by AT&T.
What do you got in that mustache right there, buddy?
I got about 1971 is what I have. Little Riley Fingers look.
It's tight.
Yeah. Good for him, though. As a Tigers fan, can't be all that bad. Well, here we go in the 6th inning. J.D. Martinez leads it off. Martinez, Avila, Suarez, the bottom part of the lineup facing Volquez. And J.D. looks at ball one. Martinez, fly ball, ground out. And now 1 for 5 in the series for Martinez. Grounded foul at home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Volquez came in having won 5 of his last 6 decisions. Pitched a good ball game against the Marlins his last time out. 7 scoreless with 7 punch outs.
Only gave up 1 hit in that game.
Let him frozen there, 1-2.
Yeah, if you're going to get a breaking ball, that's the one you want. That hanging breaking ball that starts right at you, that breaks right over the inner third of home plate.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Martinez's career high in RBIs is 55. He has 51 in about a month and a half to catch and pass that number. That is a pretty good bet to have. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball, third base side. Harrison has it there and throws him out.
JD's been doing a lot of that on this road trip, grounding out to the third baseman.
And 2 more times tonight. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to, Miller Time later in tonight's game is brought to you by Miller Lite. The Tigers' second run was brought to you by Alex Avila, who homered to left center field back in the 4th. His 9th of the year to make it a 3-2 contest. Ball 1 missing outside. Home run that Avila hit was the 15th given up by Volquez, which is a team high. 2-0. So Volquez now is 5 away from reaching 100 pitches thrown in this game. Alex ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-1.
Let's take a look at the big boys' big play of the game. It was Avila in his last time up. He got a fastball that was tailing down and away from Avila. He put a pretty swing on it. Great balance. Head down on the baseball, nearly hit it over the Tigers bullpen into the Pirates bullpen.
Swing at times just seems so effortless, and yet the sound of the ball off the bat is loud. That is rolled foul. Avila also had that big home run in New York to give the Tigers a win in extra innings. And he almost hit one out. He ended up with a double, I think, in that game, the 19-inning game Sunday in Toronto.
Right, 1 3/4 up the wall in left center field.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to hit one out there to give the Tigers the lead.
He thought it was gone. He had that right hand up in the air.
Full count now, 3-2 on Avila. Suarez on deck.
Alex needs to make sure that he gets a pretty good pitch to hit right here because Volquez really doesn't care. and whether he walks him or not. Not with the number 8 hitter coming up next, who he's already struck out twice, in the pitcher.
Fouled away. Got a fastball.
Yeah, Russell Martin wanted that ball a little bit higher, and Volquez threw it down in the strike zones.
Volquez is about to throw his 100th of the evening. And Martin wants another fastball. Bouncing ball back to the mound. Volquez throws him out, 2 gone. So by inning now, an even 100 for the game, couple of 20 pitch innings. And here is Suarez, who has struck out twice against Volquez. In there, strike 1. Fastball still at 94 here in the 6th inning.
Well, he's thrown Suarez so many breaking balls today that Suarez is looking for a breaking ball, and he took that fastball right down Broadway.
1 ball, 1 strike. Albuquerque starting to warm up down in the Detroit bullpen. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul tip in the glove for strike 3. Suarez fans for the 3rd time tonight. Tigers go 1-2-3, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Pittsburgh. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Alex Avila's solo shot. That was in the 4th, his 9th of the year. The Pirates offense, 4 doubles on 6 hits in this ball game tonight. Travis Snyder's had himself a pretty good series around him. He's 5 for 7, and this is a guy that came into the series struggling with the bats. Meanwhile, Robbie Ray is going out there to give him hopefully another inning. Starling Marte will lead things off. Marte, Sanchez, Snyder in the bottom of the 6th. Fly ball in the second, a strikeout in the third against Ray. And here we go in the bottom of the sixth inning. Missing low, 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the 1-0. High, ball 2. Ray in his first go-round with the Tigers made 4 starts. Actually 3 starts, 1 relief appearance. Now he is falling behind, 3 balls, no strikes. Marte taking his time getting back in the box. Pirates have not scored since getting 1 in the bottom of the third. And he'll take it. It's a strike call, 3-1. Sanchez waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Boston ball 4. Leadoff man is on for the second straight inning.
Let's take a look at our bell tire pitch by pitch at Hal. And Robbie Ray attacked the Martin last time up, started him off in, then he went outside with back-to-back-to-back pitches, soft changeup, and then he had Martin diving out there, went back inside hard. Martin looking for that changeup. He threw him a fastball upstairs, and he threw it right by Martin. That's a nice job of leadership there by Avila, and Ray able to execute that final pitch, which was the fastball up.
Here comes Brad Ausmus. So it appears that's going to be it for Robbie Ray. And Brad talking about a double switch here. Ray will go 5 + 1 batter, it looks. Andrew Romine coming on now with the double switch, which means Suarez will leave the ball game, and the pitcher spot will bat in the 8th position. So it's ball side windows pitching change. Here comes Albuquerque, and Ray is done for the night.
Yesterday in the game here against Pittsburgh Pirates, but the last time we saw him on Sunday in Toronto, he was sensational. He saw 4 batters, 1 out in the 7th, 3 outs in the 8th, all on strikeouts, 3 sliders and a fastball to get the strikeouts, 4 in a row for everyday Al.
54th appearance of the year for Albuquerque. 51 strikeouts to go against 13 walks. And it looks like we'll get a pinch hitter as well. Sanchez will not bat. Ike Davis will pinch hit. Romine comes in to play short.
Marte has 22 steals this year now with the right-hander. Albuquerque in the game, and Albuquerque, his strength is not holding base runners on. He's going to steal second. Just a matter of time when he goes.
Marte 22 stolen bases this year.
He has been caught 8 times.
Ike Davis played in last night's ball game, and he takes strike 1.
Clint Hurdle plays a pretty strict platoon at that first base position, which is about to get more crowded. Pedro Alvarez is scheduled to play first base really soon for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's going to be his new position.
A soft toss back to first base for Albuquerque. Pedro Alvarez having all kinds of problems throwing the ball to first base. He's made a ton of throwing errors this year.
22 of them.
Runner goes, and it's yanked foul. Back toward the seats. No balls, 2 strikes.
You can kind of see why Marte's been thrown out 8 times. He's got really good speed, but he really hasn't mastered the art of stealing the bag. He didn't get a real good jump. The ball was already out of Albuquerque's hand when he took off. Avila would have had a legitimate shot of throwing him out. Might not be a bad time to pitch out if you're Brad Ausmus. If you're convinced Marte's going to run again.
He is not, and it's a ball high.
It was almost like a pitch out right there. 93 upstairs.
1-2 on Ike Davis, the former New York Met. And a couple of big years for the Mets. 2012 hit 32 home runs. Traded to the Pirates in April. Three to 2 right now. An important run standing at first base with nobody out. Gets away from Martinez, but Marte not going anywhere.
Nice job by Victor. Going back to get that ball to make sure Marte didn't advance.
Davis waits on a 1-2. Runner goes. Ball high. Throw down to second. He's not in time. Marte gets a steal.
That's pretty close to a pitch out right there. I mean, it's a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. It's a pretty good ball for Avila to throw. Marte with a much better jump that time, able to steal his 23rd base of the year.
Romine keeping the tag on the base runner that time in case he were to slide off the base.
Too bad we didn't think of those oven mitts. We probably could have made us some money, man. Would have put a patent on them things.
Huh? Put a little Rotten Mario logo on there.
That's right.
The stolen base oven mitt.
They all got them.
Literally.
Every base stealer on every team wears that thing now.
Was Davis the first guy you saw wearing one? I can't remember anybody else.
He's probably the first one, and I noticed it this year, him in our uniform. Not much of a fashion statement, though.
No, it's not. Actually, it looks quite bad, but that's okay. Serves a purpose.
If you can stay healthy. I mean, so many guys are jamming their fingers that slide head first, wrapping that thumb around the base. I mean, this protective mitt they have helps him.
Base hit, right center field. That's going to get a run in. It's going to go all the way to the warning track. Ike Davis has himself a pinch hit RBI double, and the Pirates lead 4-2.
When you go up against Albuquerque, you know you're going to get lots of sliders. And Davis got a slider down and in, and this is where lefties just love the baseball. I mean, that ball is pretty much getting ready to bounce, but he's looking for the slider. And that's the only way you can hit this pitch.
Just went down there and golfed it to the gap. Big run in for the Pirates. They lead by 2 now, and it's the 15th double of the year for Ike Davis. Still nobody out with the runner at second. There's a fly ball to right, not deep. J.D. Martinez under it. That'll be the first out. Snyder is gone, 1 away. Time for a game break now. To the studio we go with John Keating. Thanks, Teats. We'll keep our eyes on that one, as we always do. Now with August into high gear, the pennant race is heating up.
Yeah, the left-hander John Lester slowing down the Kansas City Royals bats tonight.
Jason Nix, the batter. 4-2 Pirates lead. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. They have a man at second, 1 out. Blaine Hardy warming up. Right back up the middle on 1 hop. Kinsler, funny hop, stays with it. Nix is up. We'll talk about the Royals and the Tigers really going in different directions since the All-Star break.
Well, look at the Royals bullpen ERA at 1.39. They've got probably the best bullpen in baseball in the 8th and the 9th with Davis and Holland. Tigers bullpen ERA at 5.16. They played well. Tigers have not played well for a couple of weeks now. And really, if you look back to the Tigers start that they got off to this year, well, they got off to that really good start. In the last 77 games, they're under 500. Whoa.
And that's a long stretch.
It's a long stretch.
Alvarez pinch hitting for the pitcher spot. And it's in, strike 1.
These fans are trying to get their slugging third baseman going. He pinch hit last night, and they were chanting his name. Well, if they could get him going,
it would certainly help their cause. Skies this one in the air to straight left field. Davis under it. And that'll end the inning. So minimal damage done. However, the Pirates get another run on the RBI pinch hit double by Ike Davis. 7th inning here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The Pirates have added to their lead. They're up by 2. And in a wall-side windows pitching change, Justin Wilson comes on.
Wilson pitches a lot, pitching in his 53rd game this year out of that Pirates bullpen. ERA is shade under 5. 47 strikeouts, but he can be erratic. He's walked 25 so far this year.
Meanwhile, Lake Davis will stay in the game, and he will play first after the pinch hit double. And so the Tigers here in the 7th inning have Romine, Davis, and Carrera. First at bat of the ball game for Andrew Romine, who came on in a double switch.
Pirates have 7 hits today. 5 of those have gone for extra bases. They have 5 doubles today.
And a 4-2 lead. Romine stands in from the right side against the lefty. And he looks at a strike. 94 on the gun from the lefty Wilson. Justin Wilson retired all 3 Tigers batters he faced last night.
And from here on out, everybody that trots out of that Pittsburgh bullpen will be 95 and above with their fastball.
0-2. Fouled off, and Martin unable to hold on to it. Davis on deck. We're in the 7th inning in a 2-run game. The Tigers desperately need a victory. They came into this ball game having lost 3 in a row. And they were bounced into second place by KC. Foul straight back. Wilson played his college ball at Fresno State. In fact, he was the winning pitcher in the final game in the 2008 College World Series over Georgia. Fouled away again. In 2012, his first year in the big leagues. And the 0-2. Missed inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Slow roller hit toward first. Gobbled up there by Davis. And so Romine is out, 1 away. Time now for the Subway in-game box score. The Tigers, well, they managed only a couple of runs. They got one early on an RBI single by Kinsler. And Avila's hit a home run in this contest. But only 5 hits total for the Tigers. Rajay Davis hit the ball hard his last time up, but right to the left fielder Snyder. Davis sends a ground ball just foul outside of the bag at first. He's hugging the line, but it hooked, or sliced, I should say. 1 ball, 1 strike on Davis.
Either one of those sounds like my golf shot. Slice.
That's why I don't golf.
You ought to go out, though.
No.
It's cool, though. Let's get out for a few hours.
Okay, well, that I'll buy, but the frustration that goes with the 2 hours or 3 hours outdoor, no thanks. Now Davis will step out. Carrera will be next. Swing and a miss.
Wilson's got that nice, smooth, easy delivery. And the ball comes out of his hand very nicely at 95 miles an hour. High three-quarter arm slot. Straight over the top.
That'll get back into the seats.
That's a nice spoil right there by Davis with 2 strikes.
Swing and a miss. 95 that time for Wilson. He threw it right by Rajay.
Rajay swung at that last fastball like he wasn't expecting it. Every pitch thrown there by Wilson was a fastball outside with the exception of the last one.
So with 2 outs, here is Carrera. We'll drive one foul back out of play. Ezekiel got the Tigers on the board early, or gave them a chance at least, when he doubled with 1 out in the first and then scored on the Kinsler hit. Second straight night the Tigers took a 1-0 lead, but again they fell behind tonight. One for 3 for Carrera. Offering up a bunt, but he let it go by for a strike call. 0-2. Kinsler on deck. Tigers fly home after the ball game tonight. They've got 2 coming up against Pittsburgh, and then Seattle coming in over the weekend. Check on a ball high. 1-2.
Well, when you watch Russell Martin behind the plate, their catcher, he just does a marvelous job of staying on the corners with all of his pitchers. He blocks the ball well. He also frames the ball very well. He leaves it there for a long time to give the home plate umpire a chance to call borderline pitches a strike.
2-2. Russell Martin won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago, 2007. So it's been a few years now. That'll get back out of play. One thing Martin doesn't seem to do is take that peek up at the hitter. We see catchers do that all the time to make sure that the hitter is not looking down at the sign.
Yeah, he does not do that.
Martin pretty much just lays it down and let's go. Now watch this hand will do it. No, looking straight ahead.
He's on a mission.
Looks like it. Fouled away. Carrera batting with 2 outs here in the 7th. Wilson coming on for Volquez. Edinson Volquez pitching 6 innings in this game. Papa, but again heading back toward the seats. So Carrera has turned this into a battle, trying to keep it going for Kinsler. Then it would be Cabrera. The Tigers have the healthy part of their lineup coming up. They have been limited tonight to just 5 hits in this contest. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Nix on the backhand. Carrera is out, and the Tigers go 1-2-3. Coming up, the Health Plus 7th inning stretch.
Robbie Ray got a start here today and pitched pretty good. 5 innings plus 1 batter. Didn't walk very many people. He had a handful of strikeouts. He had a good fastball. 94 was the top fastball, but he had a really good changeup, and he threw a lot of changeups to the right-hand dominant lineup that he was facing here today.
Gave the Tigers 94 pitches this evening. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, and 5 strikeouts along the way. Albuquerque came on in the 6th, and now Al is on here in the 7th, facing Harrison, the leadoff man. And he looks at strike 1. Harrison, Polanco, Mercer. 4-2 in favor of the Pirates, trying to take the first 2 against the Tigers. The 0-1. So Harrison now behind in the count. He's been on base 2 more times here tonight. A double, a walk, a steal, and a run scored. Had 3 hits last night. One and 2. Harrison has been making them go offensively. In the air, left side of the infield, and Romine making the call on the grass. 1 out. Fans, don't forget to catch every strikeout, every game ender, and every history-making moment on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go Whip Around. It's a pretty good show. We'll show all the highlights in Whip Around fashion. Here's Polanco now with 1 out. Polanco is 0 for 2, but he has a sacrifice. Back him out of there, 1-0. Well, if there's ever a guy who is managing in the big leagues that can look at a kid like Polanco and say, I can relate to that, it would be Clint Hurdle, because he was just 20 years old when he was a highly thought of prospect and made his big league debut with the Royals. So I'm sure Clint knows exactly some of the things that Polanco is going through, trying to live up to the heavy billing.
Clint Hurdle, he was in the big leagues for a short time, and they had him all over Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
I've been around Clint Hurdle a lot. He's a good manager, a very good manager, a really good motivator, but a hitting coach, he was tremendous at that. He was a tremendous hitting coach.
Managed in Colorado and now here in Pittsburgh. Pulled on the ground and through out of the reach of a diving Ian Kinsler. It's a 1-out single for Polanco. Right now, while we have a moment, let's check in with Trevor Thompson.
Well, Mario, the Tigers are 2-6 so far on this 9-game road trip, and I asked Joe Nathan before the game to sum up this trip, and in one word he called it a nightmare. From losing 3 in New York to 2 blown saves and that 19-inning loss in Toronto and coming here and dropping the first one, losing Sanchez, Soria, and now Verlander. Couldn't have set up any worse for the Tigers so far. He said it would certainly help wrapping it up with a win here in the final game of this road trip before heading home, but they've got their work cut out for them if they want to get that done here tonight. Back up to you.
They do, Trev, and I guess the first thing would be to stop the Pirates here. We have a man on and a man out here in the 7th, already leading 4-2.
That's a pretty good word that Joe Nathan used. Nightmare.
I think you made a good point when you talked about that Toronto series. They literally could have swept that series easily. With that 19-inning game, and of course the blown save in game 2. Up and in on Mercer. 2-0 the count on the Pittsburgh shortstop. 1 on, 1 out of the 7th.
Polanco has decent speed over at first base as well. He's 6'4", but he's got those long galloping strides, and he covers a lot of ground. He has 11 steals. He's been caught 3 times. That's the poorest swing we've seen Mercer take all series, but we watch a lot of right-handed batters take swings like this against Albuquerque's slider.
Mercer an RBI single in 3 at-bats. .79% for Polanco. Runner goes. Vila's throw. Tag. Save.
I told you that Polanco's got those long galloping strides. Steals his 12th base of the year. He needed only 10 steps to get from first to second. 10 long steps before he slid in safely. Or did he slide in safely? Tag applied to the backside of Polanco before that foot got on the bag. He's going to be out.
They're going to look at this. Brad Ausmus coming out to challenge.
Only 10 steps. He made his mistake by looking in too late.
Yeah.
He slowed down when he looked in to Polanco. That was great camera work there.
For the time being, he's safe, but let's watch Kinsler apply the tag here. That previous look was probably a little clearer. It's Ted Barrett right there.
He's the crew chief.
Ted always had that look on his face.
He does.
He is a big boy. All business.
It'll be 2 outs.
Polanco is out. The Tigers win the challenge. And the bases are empty.
Most of the challenges lately have gone against the Tigers.
Really good look right here. Tag right there. He was a good couple of feet off the bag there. Swing and a miss. Three and 2 on Jordy Mercer. Base is empty now. Time called now by the home plate umpire Marquez. I think the Tigers wanted to check the count.
Albuquerque threw that last slider to Mercer, and he danced off the mound halfway to the Tigers dugout. He thought it was strike 3.
Instead, it's ball 4. Two-out base runner. A walk to Mercer. He's going to keep it going now for Russell Martin. Russell has struck out in each of his last 2 at-bats. He had a double and scored a run in the second. That was off the starter Robbie Ray, who pitched into the 6th inning in this one. 5 plus a batter for Ray. Strike 1 on Martin. Outside. Even the count now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Three-time All-Star Russell Martin. 5 good years in LA. Couple of years with the Yankees. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. 14 big league home runs for Martin, and again he's one hit shy of 1,000 for his career. Strike 3. Albuquerque can walk off the mound now. Strikeout of Russell Martin. Now got some help. Avila to Kinsler. Polanco is out. Tigers win the challenge.
Edinson Volquez started this game for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Had an acrobatic play real early in the game with runners on first and third. Lots of ground balls down toward third base. Not a lot of strikeouts by Edinson Volquez in this game, but he's in the line to win his 6th game in his last 7 starts. Really nice performance by him, led beautifully by Russell Martin.
Tony Watson now will be the new pitcher. So he will replace Wilson, who threw the 7th.
Another left-hander out of that bullpen with a plus-plus fastball. 8-1 record this year for Watson, pitching in his 57th game. A 1.46 ERA, and take a look at the strikeouts to walks ratio. 59 strikeouts, just 12 base on balls.
So the matchups don't seem to bother Clint Hurdle here, bringing in a lefty against Kinsler, Cabrera, and Martinez.
Well, he brought him in last night to face Mickey.
That's right.
Mickey hit a bullet, though.
Kinsler starts it off tonight as we go to the 8th. And he drops down a bunt. Third base line. It's going to roll foul.
Good idea by Ian. Watson was an outstanding football player and basketball player along with baseball in high school. 3-sport star.
Sioux City, Iowa, 29 years old, Tony Watson.
Big boy.
Red alerting the Tiger bullpen. Fly ball. Left center field. Snyder calls for it. One gone. That call produced some activity. Phil Koch, the lefty. Jabba Chamberlain is up. Now he's leading.
Phil Koch getting hot like he's coming into the game. It will be the 3rd consecutive game that Phil Koch has pitched in. He pitched on Sunday, and he also pitched last night.
Meanwhile, Albuquerque came out of the 6th, pitched the 7th. Here's Miguel Cabrera. Ball 1. Pirates pitching now has retired 8 consecutive Tigers. And they're guarding a 2-run lead. Volquez goes 6, Wilson in the 7th, Watson in the 8th.
They haven't given Miggy much to hit today. He's already walked twice, and now Watson has fallen behind Miguel 2 balls and no strikes.
Singled in the 1st and then walks in the 3rd and 5th by Volquez. 3-0.
Yeah, they're not going to let Miggy play tonight. Well, they're not going to let him hit, put it that way.
There's Martinez waiting on deck. Strike call. Tigers got 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 4th, and so far that is it. Another strike, 3-2 on Cabrera.
95 on the outside black. Nice frame job there by Russell Martin, holding it long enough to get the call from Alfonso Marquez. And watch Russell Martin frame it ever so slightly, pull it back into the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. He comes back to strike him out.
3 straight fastballs at 95 miles an hour to finish off Miggy.
Whoa. That was pretty impressive right there. 2 gone.
He's got great numbers. His numbers are no joke. Does a very nice job setting up for their closer.
So here is Victor Martinez with 2 outs. We're in the 8th inning. 4-2 Pirates. Victor pops one up foul. Tigers need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. J.D. Martinez would be next. On the outer edge again. He's living out there now. 0-2 on Victor.
It's not necessarily a straight fastball that Watson's featuring. It's got a little tilt to it, and his changeup's got some fade to it on the outside corner.
Victor this year batting .362 from the right side of the plate, but he's behind 0-2.
Going back foot slider now.
Fly ball center field. That's playable. Starling Marte, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Tony Watson. Pirates down in the bottom of the 8th.
4-2 lead over the Tigers as we head to the bottom half of the 8th. And a reminder to everyone to stay tuned immediately following the game for our next edition of Tigers Live here on Fox Sports Detroit. John Keating and Craig Monroe holding it down inside the Coliseum studios. Of course, Mario and Rod are here inside the ballpark to break down tonight's game and give you a look ahead at tomorrow's Game 3 of this 4-game set, which will take place back at Comerica Park. And I'll be inside the clubhouse to put a bow on this road trip as we wind it down and head back to the D. It's all coming up on Tigers Live immediately following the game, so stay tuned for that, everybody. But right now, up to Mario for the bottom half. Guys.
All right, Trent, thanks very much. Well, the Tigers continue to trail this one. 4-2 is our score. And the Pirates will face a new Tigers pitcher. That will be Phil Koch.
And Phil Koch also pitched in last night's game. He's pitched 42 2/3 innings so far this year, pitching in his 44th game. The ERA now down to 4.22 for Koch.
And he'll face Starling Marte to start things off. And then Ike Davis and Travis Snyder. Marte walked. Came around to score back in the 6th inning after stealing a bag. Koch replaces Albuquerque, who went 2 innings. And a bunt. Koch can handle it.
Oh, nice play initially by Phil, but with the exchange, he couldn't do it. That's one of those plays right there. He should have took it after he had it in his glove and shuffled it in his glove to Victor Martinez.
Base hit.
Your tendency is to rush when you've got a speedy base runner like Marte running down the line.
So the leadoff man out here in the 8th. We'll bring up Ike Davis. It's the 9th hit of the game now for the Pirates. Davis had a pinch hit RBI double in the last at bat that he had in the 6th inning. His only at bat of the night. Marte stole a base back in the 6th. Ball outside to Ike Davis. 1 ball, no strikes. Tigers in the 9th inning have Martinez, Avila, and the pitcher spot, which means a pinch hitter. Runner goes. Oh, now he stopped. Martinez throws to second, and that's going to be a double play. Marte just stopped, and they turn to 3-6-3.
Looked like he slipped or something. What he was hoping that was Victor Martinez would go touch the bag first.
Right.
Before he threw the ball down to second base, and then he was going to go back to first base. It was going to be a double play no matter what.
So with 2 outs, base is empty. Here is Snyder. Doubled in a run back in the 2nd. Also has a single. Ball 1 inside. Right now a 2-run game, and Koch trying to keep it that way when we get to the 9th. And Mark Melanson, their closer, warming up. Snyder hit 2 homers last night, doubled in a run tonight. He has 5 RBIs so far in the series. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. Robbie Ray gave the Tigers 5+1 batter. Albuquerque the last 2. And now Koch here in the 8th. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Snyder.
It's a 94-mile-per-hour fastball there thrown by Field with a lot of life on it.
Nick's waiting on deck. Full count now, 3-2. And the full count pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. So they got a leadoff hit, but come up empty, and we go to the 9th. Tigers need at least 2 against Melanson. Game behind KC in the Central. Right now, Detroit and Los Angeles, the wild card teams. But a long way to go and a lot of baseball to be played. It is 4-2 as we go to the 9th inning. Pirates on top looking for the final 3 outs. They brought their closer in. That would be Mark Melanson.
Jason Grilli was their closer when the season began, but he struggled. He's no longer with this team. He is now pitching for the Angels. 52nd game for Melanson, 21 of 24 in saves, and he has not done very well against Detroit. 7.71 ERA for Melanson in 6 games against Tiger bats.
The Pirates trying to gain ground in their division. St. Louis, Milwaukee, Cincinnati all losing. They need this win tonight. The Tigers need it desperately, though, and we'll see if they've got anything here in the 9th. J.D. Martinez, Alex Avila, and a pinch hitter. Facing Mark Melanson. Martinez is 0 for 3, couple of ground balls to third and a flyout. And he checked the swing, but it went around. Strike 1.
You can see J.D. is a little jumpy right now, not trusting himself the way that he was in June and July. He is cheating for the fastball. Therefore, he swung at that ball that was about 4 or 5 inches off the plate outside. JD simply needs to get back to that approach that he had for a couple of months.
Now it's 0-2.
Much better swing there by JD.
Melanson last year appeared in 72 games out of the bullpen for the Pirates. He was lights out, a 1.39 ERA.
Found a home in Pittsburgh after pitching in Houston and struggling. Also struggling for the Boston Red Sox a couple of years ago.
Also picked up 16 saves last season. There's Alex Avila waiting on deck. Field. Snyder goes back, edge of the warning track, one gone. That's 11 straight that Pirates pitching has retired in this game.
They've got a really good bullpen. It's one of the reasons why they are where they are right now in the standings.
Here's Avila, who has had success against Melanson. Trying to remember, was one of those a walk-off home run against Melanson when he was with the Red Sox?
It was early in the season.
Yeah.
It was at Comerica Park, and he really struggled. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they beat him up pretty bad.
I don't know if that was a walk-off, but he hit a big one. There's a strike call. Melanson has an ERA of 0.93 in his home ballpark this year. Rockies aren't doing too well either. They bat just a $1.49 against them. Here's the 0-1. Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Castellanos has moved to the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot 2 next. Back up the middle, and it found a seam right between a couple of defenders, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Second hit of the night for Avila, who's now 3 for 3 career against Melanson.
You see the shift right there, second baseman and also the third baseman. That would be Harrison up the middle on the right side of the infield, and Avila able to sneak one right over the head of Nix.
So now Castellanos. Pinch hitting for the pitcher. Well, he had a dramatic home run against Toronto to tie the game in the 9th. See if he's got another one in. Line drive, base hit, left field. Avila will go to second. And now the Tigers have the tying runs on. Pinch hit single for Castellanos.
That's what you do when you're called off the bench to pinch hit. If you get a strike on the first pitch, you want to swing at it, and Castellanos got a hanging breaking ball that he ripped into left center field. Melanson's already hung a couple of breaking balls. That one was up around the letters of Castellanos.
Don Kelly coming on a pinch run now at first base. Tying runs are on. Here comes another pinch hitter, Torrey Hunter. .63 RBIs. Torrey had a couple of knocks last night. Melanson is in trouble here in the 9th. Took a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, just got a piece of it.
Cut fastball, a little late action on that pitch.
Tigers now have 7 hits. And just maybe an extra base hit away from tying this game. Time called by catcher Russell Martin. He'll go out to the mound. Wilson a 1-2-3 7th. Watson a 1-2-3 8th. They were cruising along. Melanson here in the 9th has given up a couple of hits. Pirates have 18 blown saves this year, which is the 3rd most in the National League. Swing and a miss by Turner.
Nice bender there by Melanson at 82 miles an hour. Took a lot off that breaking ball there.
Hunter waiting on an 0-2. Blocked at home plate by Martin.
That's why the Pittsburgh pitchers are not afraid to bounce the breaking ball with 2 strikes, because they have a catcher that gives his body up, and very few get past Russell Martin.
Field. Polanco backing up to the warning track. Torrey hit it well, but fell a little bit short of that wall in right.
Torrey Hunter got a pretty good breaking ball to hit right there, but he did not want to get out there too soon because he had already swung at a breaking ball that was out of the strike zone. But this one was hanging on the inner third of home plate. Torrey usually pulls this ball right here, but he was very conscious of staying on it. Therefore, he flipped it to right field instead of turning on it, which he normally would have done.
Two gone now, and it's up to Rajai Davis, who is 0 for 4 tonight.
346 with runners in scoring position for Rajai.
Davis loops one foul back out of play. 34,919 to the ballpark tonight. And the Tigers fans with their rally caps going. They want to go back home with at least 1 win. Two on, 2 out. Davis sends a ground ball left side. Harrison has it. Quick flip, and the Pirates hold on to win. The Tigers threaten in the 9th, but lead 2, and the Pirates have won the first 2 games of the series. 4-2, the final score in this one. Back with more from PNC Park.